how'd you get here?
It's taken me 3 weeks to get around to finishing this game. I have an entire playthrough that released really not long after the initial game dropped, and now it's been like, what, 2 months or something? Some weird shit like that. Really, really long after the game's release, and I'm only now getting to this final boss, and the reason for that is because I really wanted to S-rank every single stage that I played in this playthrough. That way, if I got any skill issue comments, I could pull down my pants and be like, yeah, eat shit. Pretty much. That's the big TLDR. Also, I like the game, right? So I wanted to experience it. I wanted to play it a lot, and just show that I'm good at the games that I like to play, and I'm not just sitting there with a hand on the controller and a hand on my weenus while I'm fucking playing the game. All right. Even though these cutscenes are amazing, and these cutscenes, you know, do things to me emotionally and mentally and physically, whatever, right? I wanted to show that I was competent. TLDR, enough beating around the bush. This boss fucking sucks to run for an S rank. It's not hard to get an S rank on it, that's not what I'm saying, but it's really fucking long. When you get to these games that have, like, much longer boss fights, if they do a time attack related thing, it can be really fucking annoying to run them back to back, especially when these phases are so long and it's very much like a wait in order for an opportunity to hit them kind of deal, right? And also when they have these really long cutscenes and these really long downtime moments like this, where you kind of just jump to get rings and that's all that's really used for. And TLDR, it's a really long boss fight and you're constantly doing things, and that's great. I think as a final boss, this is amazing, and it is miles better than literally anything we got in any Sonic game prior to this in terms of a boss quality. I think genuinely this is a peak Sonic final boss, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of really cool mechanics, a lot of mechanical depth, and a lot of ways to interact with the boss in fun, interesting ways. Apparently, you can, like in the final phase, kick the boss or something and it'll do an entirely new QTE, and it's like there's a lot of really interesting ways to interact with this boss, and I think it's great in terms of, you know, actual final boss quality, but oh my god, running through this long-ass boss again and again and again trying to get an S rank is really annoying. Luckily, on this specific recording session, I got through it on my first try, and I got an S rank, and I was like, thank God I get to fucking put this behind me. But it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating. I got an A rank on my first run, and then every single time I restarted this boss fight, it felt like there was a nail getting driven underneath my thumbnail, and it was awful. It was just flat out the worst fucking feeling, and I was like, God, do I have to do that again, but this time for YouTube commentary content? Fucking whatever. Point is, I got it done. So we finally got this finished, and it's a really cool boss. I love it. Also, this new super form for Shadow, I haven't really talked about it, but it's cool. It's really cool. I like it. I genuinely wish he went like Super Shadow at the end and kept the Doom Wings. I know that's like a very nitpicky nothing burger of a statement, but like when there's a section, you'll see it later, he starts glowing, and I was like, oh my god, he got his fucking Neo Devil Doom, whatever fucking kind of name that is. Went, and he clasped him, right? And he had him in his hands, and I was like, oh my god, holy shit, he's cooked. And then he started glowing yellow, and I was like, oh, that's Super Shadow with Doom Wings. This is gonna fucking rock the internet, it's amazing. And then they didn't do that, and I'm like, ooh, that feels like such an easy win. That feels like such an easy win, bro. I realize it wouldn't make a lot of sense. I realize it would make no sense. Shadow doesn't have the Chaos Emeralds. This is their way of giving him some type of super form. I get it. But, like, fuck logic. I don't care. Oh, he could have gone super because Neo Devil Doom had Chaos Emeralds in his balls or whatever. I don't care. I don't care about the Sonic lore. Bro, I just want cool shit. I want cool... oh my god, I'd be such a good Dragon Ball fan. Because I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck about if it makes sense or not. I want it to look cool, I want it to be cool, and that's all I want. That's everything I've ever wanted. By the way, this is really cool. This is a really cool cut. Every single attack that you end up doing to Neo Devil Doom, every single attack that you end up taking, they all have these really cool cutscenes, and this is just like an insane finale. Genuinely such an insane finale, and I'm so glad they kind of brought these really cool boss fights from, I mean, we had something like it in Frontiers, right? And they increased the mechanical depth, and they increased the cool factor and the wow factor, and they just threw together some amazing bosses for this game. It's actually insane. I know I've said it before, I'll say it again, best bosses we've gotten in a Sonic game ever, flat out. I don't care. I don't care how peak undefeatable is. I don't care. Whatever. This is what peak really is. This is what peak really, truly is. Also, I don't think you can fail this QTE. This was like a big conversation that was happening on Twitter for a while. You know, Twitter shit, right? People were a little upset that you couldn't fail this QTE. Because, like, what's the point of it then? But also, if I, at any point, failed this QTE, at any point in my life, I would immediately dislike this game 10 times more. Because you already go through the hassle of doing not only the 2 phases of the initial part of the boss, then you go to phase 2, and you have to do that entire Super Shadow whatever, finishing... TLDR, if you could fail with the QTE on this one, that would actually be infuriating. And I think it would make people dislike this boss a lot. So I'm really glad they didn't do that. That's my takeaway on that. Also, this is another example of random modern Sonic cutscenes being squashed. I don't know why, I don't know how this keeps happening, but like it's just a little smushed. Like a tad bit. It's not as bad as the cutscene that got the smushing treatment as in Frontiers, right? It's not as bad as that one. But it's fucking weird. And I don't know why this is the case. I don't know why these cutscenes keep getting smushed. And, like, I kind of want to stretch it out in post, but, yeah. At that point, everything I'm saying is not going to make sense, and whatever. This is cool. The cutscene is cool. The cutscene is fine. I really love this. Dude, the, like, going really fast and bursting through the enemy type shit, that's, like, so fucking fire. I love that. I'm so glad they brought this into this game. I'm so glad they brought it in with Sonic Frontiers for the first boss. Like, it's just such a badass thing. And, like, when you have a character that goes insanely quick, dude, holy fuck, does it not just feel so hard to... just use that speed to run directly through an enemy that's been giving you pause the entire playthrough. I love that. Also, him exploding like he's got a bomb in him or something, so fucking funny. That shit made me geek out so much the first time. I was like, what? Why the fuck did he blow up like that? He's not a robot, he's a fucking biological being. You just ran straight through him and his heart was like, alright, time to fucking self-implode. My fault, gang. Let's... I'm giving up. I'm gonna explode like a goddamn robot. It's really cool. It's really cool. I also do like these kind of situational power type things where, like, he gets power from the big evil villain and he throws it away. And look, it's nothing crazy, but the story here is a step up from what we've gotten before. I think it mixes well with the base gen story, and I think overall, right, it just works really well. And I like what they're doing, I like what they've done, and I hope that we kind of continue this path in the future. I know that everyone has, like, these fun and really cool to talk about takes on Sonic and his story and where his characterization should go and everything. I love that so much. But I will say, I didn't see a whole lot of conversation surrounding characterization with this game. Maybe the biggest element of that was Rouge has that scene we just passed where she goes, whatever, and it's like people were bitching about that, right? But Shadow is characterized really well, Gerald and Maria are characterized really well. Every single bit of character writing in this game is really fucking fire. And, oh my god, especially this scene, dude. Especially this scene. People cried over this. I personally didn't, because I've got a big penis, but like... jokes, it's jokes, it's jokes. But, I didn't cry at this, but I know people did. And that's so valid. Like, Shadow's voice actor here is so good. Everyone was like, I'm so sorry, I was unfamiliar with your game after this shit dropped, because it's... The character is just good. The character sounds good. Everything is great here. It's so fucking fire. It's so fire. And Maria's like, bye-bye. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's just, it's good. I don't even know what to say other than that. It's so fucking good. And you don't know what's gonna happen! I love it. I love it so much. And watching this unfold before my eyes was just a magical experience. And I'm so glad I didn't get spoiled on any of this shit. I saw it coming from a mile away, but I'm so glad I didn't get spoiled on the specifics. It's like, it's just magical. It's magical, it's beautiful, easily one of the best parts of the entire game is just this narrative element. And I never thought I would say that for a Sonic game. I really didn't. I grew up in the era of Sonic Colors to, you know, Forces. And it was just like, it's so interesting seeing this dramatic shift, this dramatic change in narrative focus, and them actually giving a flying fuck about the stories that they're telling and the characters that they're portraying. And, you know, seeing scenes like this where you don't see Shadow cry, but you see the tear come off of his face and land on, like, it's so cool. The cinematics there they're so good. So with that, we finished Sonic X Shadow Generations, or the Shadow Gens part, right? What do I think overall? It's been about, again, like 2-ish, give or take, months since the release of this game, and I haven't really changed my perspective that much on it, right? The honeymoon phase is very much over. People are talking about things that they like and don't like, and, you know, there's a plethora of opinions out there right now. We're definitely not still in the honeymoon phase, but I still really like it. I don't think my opinion has changed much since its release. I think the level design is amazing. All of these stages are so fun. The control feel is still better than anything I saw with Hedgehog Engine 1, and I think that at the end of the day, we have gotten to a point where this control feel, this creature that was built off the back of Sonic Lost World, has now turned into the best feeling boost formula game we have ever gotten, which is insane. Actually insane. Going back to Sonic Gens after this was fucking painful, and it's wild that I can actually say Sonic Generations has aged poorly enough to the point where the newest game that came out can actually feel better. And, like, I know, it sounds so dumb, like a fucking 13-year-old game aged to some degree over those 13 years. Oh, holy shit, what a revolutionary take. But, like, genuinely, we haven't had a game that put to the test the control feel of the boost formula in any substantial way since Generations. That was the last game that, you know, slightly altered it and made boost formula feel different. And now that we finally have I guess a different, in a good way, control feel for the boost formula, and now that we've seen like a step in the right direction for control feel in the boost formula, I can look back at a game that I used to think was like perfect control feel for boost formula Sonic and be like, actually I was fucking crazy, this is so much better. Like, this is amazing. I can finally see why people want the tight turn radius and all of this extra shit. It just works perfectly. It is genuinely insanely good, and I think the best feeling Sonic game we have maybe ever gotten. Realistically, it is really fucking good. That said, I know that a lot of people were very sad this game wasn't longer. It's kind of the biggest takeaway I've seen, the most consistent one. Yeah, I mean, that's true. A lot of people are saying this can't be the peak of the franchise when it's 5 minutes long. That's also fair. That's also fair. But personally, I feel that ignoring length, right, as a confounding factor, a confounding variable, this is one of, if not the best Sonic games I've ever played. This is absolutely my favorite iteration on the boost formula, without a doubt. And I cannot wait to see where we go from here. Like, it's magical. It's magical to be able to sit here and say that this is one of the best Sonic games I've ever played, and not sound like a fucking idiot.